All right, Gators, we are to our third human body system, the muscular system. The muscular system is made up of muscles, which are organs that contract and get shorter. And as a result, our body parts will move. We have over 600 muscles in our body, and don't worry, we're not going to have a quiz over all 600 muscles. The functions of the muscular system. One we've kind of already talked about is movement. Another one is that it aids in digesting our food, breaking down our food and moving it through our digestive system. It also is part of our heart, which acts as a pump to circulate our blood through our body. And it assists in breathing, and we're going to take a look at each of those individually in a few minutes. All of these involve forces, pushers or pulls. So as food is pushed through the body, it involves a force. As blood is pushed through the body, it involves a force. And it actually can contract and cause the diaphragm to pull air into our body or push air out. We'll be talking about those. So remember, forces are very strongly related to our muscular system. As we mentioned with the skeletal system, the muscular system, skeletal system, and nervous system work very closely together. Our muscles and bones must work together. Our muscles wouldn't do us any good on our own as far as moving our body, and our skeleton wouldn't go anywhere without muscles. So that information, that electrical impulse, that message comes from the brain to the muscle, which contracts and pulls on the bone. So you see the interaction of those three systems there. So we have what are called voluntary muscles and involuntary muscles. If you volunteer for something, you choose to do it. Involuntary, you're told to do it. You have to do it. So voluntary muscles are those that you move under your control. Those are your skeletal muscles. Those are usually the ones when you go to the gym and you're working out and you're flexing in the mirror. Those are the ones that you're working out are your skeletal muscles, your voluntary muscles that control things that you choose to do, like smile, walking, and talking. Whereas your involuntary muscles are the ones that we don't have to tell to do their job. We don't consciously control them. You don't have to decide to make these muscles work. You don't have to tell your heart to beat. So examples are your heart and internal organs are examples of involuntary muscles. So like your stomach and intestines, muscles in those will work automatically from nervous system input. Same thing with breathing. We'll talk more about that in a bit. So our three types of muscle are smooth, cardiac, and skeletal. So if we look at smooth muscle, again, these are involuntary. We don't have to tell our stomach to churn up our food. It's going to do it automatically. So muscles of our digestive system, walls of our blood vessels, and other internal organs. Our intestine, which is part of our digestive system. You see that over here in this part of this picture. Your esophagus, which is a tube that goes from your throat to your stomach. Your bladder, and you definitely feel when the nerves in your bladder start to tell that muscle it's full and it's time to relax, so you can ease that sensation. These kind of muscles contract and relax slowly, and thankfully they don't get tired. You don't want your stomach to get tired on you as it's churning up your food. Then we have our heart muscle, or our cardiac muscle, and it's also involuntary. We don't control it. The only example would be in our heart. It contracts repeatedly, and it doesn't get tired either. Thank goodness it doesn't get tired. It does its job over and over again. It changes speed depending on the activity we're doing, but approximately 75 times per minute our heart will contract and relax every day. So let's take a closer look at those first two types, smooth muscle and cardiac muscle. Here's an example of peristalsis, which is muscle contractions within our digestive tract. So you see it squeezing and pushing the digested food throughout your large intestine there. This also happens in your esophagus, it happens in your stomach, all throughout your digestive system to get food from one end of your digestive tract out the other end. So that video was an example showing you the cardiac muscle contracting and relaxing, where the heart acts as a pump to push that blood throughout. And here is another example of a muscle at work here. This is the diaphragm that's underneath the lungs, helping to contract and pull air in and relax and push air out. So it gets signals constantly from the nervous system telling it to contract and relax to help move air in and out of our lungs. And we don't have to think about doing that, although there are times we can choose to take in a deep breath or exhale. But ultimately it's under involuntary control. The most common muscle that we are used to hearing about is skeletal muscle, skeleton bones, so the muscles that are attached to our bones. So we have to have a way to connect our muscle to our bone, and this is by our skeletal muscles. So our skeletal muscles are also what we call voluntary. They are voluntary muscles, which means we can control them when to use them. They contract quickly and tire easily, and that's why you can only use them for so often without taking a break. So these are the ones we find in our arms and our legs, like our bicep muscle, our hamstring muscle, our quadricep muscle, even our abdominal muscles, and they're attached by tendons, attach skeletal muscles to bones. Those are thick bands that pull on the muscle as the muscle contracts. This right here is your Achilles tendon. You definitely don't want to injure that. This right here is your calf muscle, fancy name for that. Scientific name is your gastrocnemius, but your gastrocnemius is connected by this Achilles tendon here to the back of your heel bone. So something about skeletal muscles is that they work in pairs. So here's that bicep we talked about. Underneath on this other side is your tricep. So this bicep is one you usually are flexing in the mirror, boys. So skeletal muscles work in pairs together. One muscle will contract and the other one will relax or return to its original length. Skeletal muscles are meant to contract and go back to their original length, not extend. That's when you pull a muscle or tear a muscle or injure a muscle. So for the bicep to contract, the tricep underneath has to relax. And then vice versa, when you want to extend your arm, your tricep will contract and your bicep will relax. So muscles pull, so they're applying a force on the bone, and muscles always pull, they never push. So the bicep muscle will pull the arm up, and then the tricep muscle will pull the arm down. They don't work by pushing. So all this goes back to what we talked about in the cells with mitochondria of our cells. Remember, glucose, sugar is what we get from the food that we eat. That's a chemical energy, and the mitochondria will convert that into the mechanical energy that allows our muscles to move and cause movement in our body. Over periods of time, muscles can work and become larger, or not work and become smaller. It's not that when you work out that you're adding muscle cells, you're just increasing the size of the muscle cells you have depending on the exercise or work you do. This guy right here hadn't been doing too much working out, and this guy here has been doing quite a bit. Again, working out can increase the size of a muscle, or not working out can decrease the size of a muscle. So let's take a closer look first at our skeletal muscle. So if we look at here, just an example, in this case, this muscle right here, the bicep muscle, is contracting and pulling the arm up, and the tricep is relaxing. When the arm goes down, this tricep muscle underneath contracts and this bicep relaxes. So this is just an example of how that works at the muscular level. Bicep muscle here, tricep muscle here. They work in pairs, contracting and relaxing. You won't be tested over this, but that's just telling you the fancy names for how they work in pairs. And again, there are three types of muscle. We have our smooth muscle, our cardiac muscle, and our skeletal muscle. So a lot of this taking care of your muscular system you've heard before. Warm up before you exercise, stretch, jog a little before you start doing any hard exercise, wear proper safety equipment when you can, don't overwork or overstretch your muscles or tendons. You don't want to tear those and injure them. And when you're hurt, make sure you take that time off and rest until it's healed. And then let's close with some fun facts about the muscular system. You actually have almost no muscles in your fingers on the top of your hand. Those are actually tendons that are attached to bones in your forearm that are extending your hand out. There are over 30 different muscles in your face that allow you to do things like smile, frown, and raise your eyebrows. And it is a true fact that it takes more muscles to frown than smile, so we should be using our smiles. Training with weights can double or triple a muscle's size, but disuse, such as astronauts in space, can shrink a muscle by as much as 20% in just 2 weeks. And that's one reason they implemented ways for astronauts to exercise in space so they didn't come back with weak muscles and bones. Muscle soreness, most of us experience this after physical activity, is the result of temporary mild inflammation in the muscle. The burn felt immediately after vigorous exercise is a result of the accumulation of that waste product, lactic acid, in hardworking muscle tissue. So remember, our cells are creating waste they got to get rid of. So muscles need stress, they need practice, just like you saw in that reaction timers exercise, and this causes muscles to get that muscle memory when doing activities. Muscle fibers can be red or white. I always tell this story. I was a distance runner in college. My roommate was one of the best sprinters in the nation. We have different types of muscle fiber. So red muscle fiber was more for, like me, people that had long distance abilities, had more red muscle fibers. We could run for a longer period of time without getting tired, but weren't near as fast. Whereas my roommate had a lot more white muscle fibers, very fast, very quick, could go over very short periods of time, bursts, but then got tired very quickly and easily, and that's because of different energy sources that were used. My muscles released energy from stored fat. Hers used muscles from the sugar that was in the cells. So that winds up our fun facts, and overall, don't forget your functions of the muscular system for movement, to aid in our digestive processes, to allow for our heart to contract and to beat, as well as to help us breathe. And remember, muscles can be under conscious control, which is involuntary, or voluntary control that we can consciously control to use them.